Alrighty, hello. We have all sorts of good stuff ready for tonight. This should be fun.
Yes, of
Indeed.
course.
Oh, of course! Welcome back, Dev. We missed you last week.
Yeah, I wasn't even near my house, and I was just like, I'm not gonna go smashing down the freeway at
No,
like 90 just to be late.
cer- certainly not. Wouldn't. Don't even worry about it. Anyway, well, let us get started. I guess our first, our first wonderful video is how the sun and moon work over the flat Earth. This was suggested by Jonathan Evans. So let's take a look at that, shall we? We'll just jump right into it. Everybody, I know everybody knows the rules that when something comes up that is so stupid it requires a response, just yell beer. We'll stop the video, identify yourself, and then say what you got to say, and then we can talk about it. So there we go.
Hold my beer, we're going in dry.
Oh no, that doesn't sound right at all. All
That was so wrong.
right, on
I
to
like it.
on to how the sun and moon work over a flat Earth. This should be just ever so entertaining.
I'm sure by now most of you have probably seen this little animation I created. This was done actually back in May of 2015, so it was a month after I first got into this, when I was kind of considering all of it and going, well, I wonder how that would work. And so I created a little animation in Poser, created a point light with a limited throw ratio, so the light is limited as far as how far it'll go, and just animated it in a circle over the circular flat Earth map. Now, let me just say, neither one of these are to scale. I was just going for the concept here. According to...
All right. Okay, Mason calls the first one. Go ahead.
I thought that was
his
Hillel.
model is completely off. I mean, that's Omni, like, that travels in all directions.
Yeah, well, see, that's the good thing about the flat Earth model. You can change your assumptions whenever it's convenient for you. It's very
Yeah,
good.
he's going by the flashlight model. It's not how... That's not Omni light. That's not Omni lighting. I mean, I've used Premiere and all that other fun stuff.
Okay, so
Like,
are you telling me that the flat Earth model may not be valid?
no, it's
Oh,
broken.
All right.
How in the world do we get a sunset out of this?
It's actually they made a
How?
feeble attempt at explaining that as well, and it has.
Is that coming up?
I'm not sure if he's going to mention it in this. That was I think that was in last week's. We end up with sunsets because of was it a combination of perspective and atmospheric lensing? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah,
I see.
yes.
So the pictures I have of half a sun are lensing issues.
Yes,
I got you. Okay.
that's exactly what it was, and you would have loved the demonstration that the guy did last week with.
I will. Now I'm gonna leave and watch last week's show. See you guys.
Yeah, better get caught up there, Paul.
All right, moving on.
Am I too late?
No, yes, it's never too late. All right, moving on here.
Zetetic astronomy and other resources, people looking at the sun and gauging its size and distance using a sextant. Apparently the sun would be just shy of about 40 miles across and roughly 3,000 miles high, so obviously that's not being depicted here. That scale's not accurate, and it would go in and out on the various tropics and of course the equator. For more information on that, see my animation to the right there. It says how the four seasons work on a flat Earth model. Check that one out, and also you might want to listen to the radio show that I did with Zen Garcia, who's done some amazing work in tying all of this into the Book of Enoch and how Enoch describes the various motions of the heavenly luminaries. Lots of good stuff there. But of course,
Okay, who called it?
I did.
Okay.
And you are.
Oh yes, of course. My name is Batman. No, it's never. But how can he say or even like extrapolate this or that when it can also be interpreted as the Earth is a globe or something? You know, like there are Christians who are like, yeah, this whole flat Earth nonsense is stupid.
Yeah, like Ken Ham.
Yeah,
That is true. And
Ken Ham says you're stupid. You're fucking stupid.
yeah. Like if you don't.
well, Ken Hovind said that the flat Earth is stupid. There's another one.
Or is that? Yeah, one of those Kens. I don't know.
Oh, I actually I don't remember Ham ever saying anything about. Actually, every time he opens his mouth, he's doing a commercial for that stupid arc. I don't
Yeah.
really remember hearing him say anything different. But all right, here we go.
The critics look at this and they say stuff like,
If the sun and moon were just circling over the flat Earth and getting too far away to see, then we would see them shrink and fade out of view as they set. But we
Kinda.
don't. Flat Earthers will show you videos where the sun appears to grow or shrink, but this is an illusion due to thick clouds. You can always see that there are clouds near the horizon when they try to show this. Normally, this illusion does not happen.
oh, so he said that flat earthers are always hiding it behind clouds or whatever. Well, there's plenty of footage out there you can find where there's no clouds involved. This is from a really good video online you guys need to check out called Flat Earth Proof Sunset Off Pocket.
Okay, I'm calling this one. Drink. It's me.
Look,
This is all right now. Okay, so he's demonstrated in this video the sun shrinking. If the perspective argument were valid, it should shrink to a point before disappearing from view. We should not see half a sun under any circumstances, barring that botched experiment that we saw last week, which
You got to take into account.
I also want to
that
point out
it's,
that little
not
makeshift
talking-
bars there.
yeah.
It shows the sun moving in there off of center of the bars.
Huh.
So I mean, because like you can even see it here. It's not in the middle anymore. So
Okay.
what does that mean? Is the Earth rotating, or is the moon, or is the fucking sun rotating around the Earth?
Well,
Because obviously it's not going quote unquote straight down like he's trying to depict here.
okay.
At the very least,
It's
it's the Earth. It's the Earth that's moving.
Well, besides the whatever's moving, it's clearly a case of the flare of the sun on the lens of the camera getting eliminated by that big fog bank that's out over the horizon. Come on!
indeed it may be it. It also those two vertical posts look an awful lot like goalposts. Maybe they're shifting the goalposts. All right.
Ooh, nice one. Ba-doom-sh. I like that. That was good stuff.
All right, remember, sometimes the goodness of a joke is determined by its badness. Okay, moving on.
I'm not sure if that's exactly how you pronounce it. P-H-U-K-E-T. Really interesting, showing sunset up. I believe this was actually somewhere off the equator. Again, you'd have to watch that video for yourself, but it clearly shows the sun changing in diameter as it goes away.
Oh, you see its glare
So
going
please
away.
take note
Yeah.
not to ignore this evidence. Other videos you've seen
Okay, apparently we're using the loose definition of evidence today. Just wanted to clarify.
where it looks like it's going in an arc like that and going off into the distance. Other videos where people have taken and used filters and whatnot and analyzed the sun moving and then done measurement of pixels across the screen, showing that it does in fact look like it gets a little bit smaller in some cases. In some cases it gets a lot smaller. In this case from 302 pixels to 290. And then of course there's this video right here, which apparently was shot in the desert where there's going to be a lot less moisture. And so whenever there's less moisture, you're going to obviously have less refraction and magnification.
Drink, wrong, and magnification, I don't know where that came in. But in a desert, if you have a heat differential between the ground and the air, different densities of air will also produce refraction.
You don't get to pick the anomalies that seem to agree with your views and ignore the common observations that don't, and still call
Hey.
yourself an
Fucking
honest
Hey,
investigator.
yeah.
Right
Hey,
now.
That
take your own advice drink, huh?
Drink, 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 drink. Drink it.
Look,
Drink it.
only one drink per stupid.
Drink two.
We don't
Well,
want
that
anyone.
sounded like a damn reasonable thing to say.
We do not.
Except
Yeah.
he's just using it in the wrong way.
Well,
In fact, I posted in the chat the other day that this guy couldn't even explain how earthquakes work on the flat Earth, and he no shit fucking says, "I don't have to explain everything to know that the ball Earth magic is bullshit." And I said, "Dude, earthquakes happen. You have to explain it. You have to. You absolutely have to."
and yet he did not.
It's been like 16 hours.
Another thing that we didn't touch on, I guess we'll probably get plenty more opportunities for it, but their little spotlight sun going around the circle of the sun, what mechanism causes this?
Exactly.
What makes it go around? I mean, they're throwing thermodynamics out the window. They have to have an answer for that.
It is orbiting around Satan. I don't know that you couldn't see that in your last video.
I didn't see it.
Not only why is it moving? Why is it moving in a curve?
Do you know how
saying.
sick that would be to just like have the sun orbiting around you? Pretty fucking sick.
I agree.
That's pretty ultimate right there.
I'd be like, who could challenge you? I'll throw the sun at you. Shut up.
All right.
It'd be cool if you could just light everybody's cigarette. Just be like, all right, everybody, stand in a circle around me. Watch this.
Nobody move. I've done this one time.
All right. I think we're slightly off topic. Let's get back. Let's restart the stupid here.
is intellectually dishonest.
So thinking about all this and thinking about what I had just shown you regarding atmospheric lensing, magnification, refraction, all that with regard to cities and objects at a distance on the land, I got to thinking, I wonder how this would work with the sun and moon. So this is what I came up with. I've got my magnifying sheet frame, and I created a little stand to paste the sun on it and keep it the same height over the...
All right, this is the experiment from last week. What the hell?
Yay!
So that's where you got this. All right, very good.
Flat surface of the table.
Fight each other
So
and
the
mirror
sun
their
is
videos
always
all
going
the
to be
time.
parallel with the surface. And check this out. All right, here's the first test of a sun moving over a flat surface, and with no atmospheric magnification, it does what we might expect it would. It gets smaller as it goes away from us. All right, now let's see what happens when we add in our atmospheric magnification. Again, water and refraction. Water causes magnification and refraction, right? So let's bring the sun back. Oh, check this out. Refraction bends the light downward. It made the sun set on a parallel surface as it was moving parallel, the same height, the whole way over a flat surface.
Or, as we talked about before, it could be that we're looking through the Fresnel lens off-center, so it's magnifying a different part of the image. Might be
It gets
that.
smaller. He omitted that little tasty little bit.
That too.
Did you guys not see this? Holy crap, the Earth is flat.
Nice try.
The refraction caused the sun to set. Not only that, well, let's bring in the beginning of that little test, and we see that it maintained pretty much the same size, too. Pretty close.
Larger this time.
And of course, that's because as it's moving away, the magnification is still taking place. And so, even though the sun's further away than it was in the beginning of the test, the magnification basically preserved the same size, and the refraction made it set. Of course, again, depending on how much moisture is in the air, we could see that the sun doesn't appear to change in size at all as it goes down. We could see sometimes perhaps that it looks like it's getting bigger when it goes down. You ever see like a really big sunset or moonrise, moonset, where one of them looks really large on the horizon? Well, that could be because there's lots of moisture in the air causing that effect. Or when there's less moisture in the air, obviously you won't have as much magnification taking place, and so it looks smaller as it goes away. So it's all relative to the amount of moisture that's in the air. Now, I'm just going to put forward a crazy idea for you to think about. And that is, if Rob Skiba could figure this out, I'm just going to go out on a limb here. I think it's quite possible that the creator of the cosmos could have figured out the same thing and engineered our beautiful sunsets. Thanks
Drink.
to all that.
Okay.
Cyanide says this dumbass just compared himself to God. He basically said he figured out God.
That's me. He's the first
right
one to make that claim.
Right after he contradicted himself with that whole shrinking sun, growing sun thing. What the?
I noticed that too.
Yeah, and I like how the anomalies are put forth to be the norm in this kind of video.
In fairness, and maybe possibly surprisingly, he did concede that he is probably less intelligent than God. Probably. He was probably less intelligent.
Okay, so there's no lack of humility, you're saying.
Right.
Okay. This was all right. This was a short one. We're nearing the end of the foolishness here.
That water he placed in our atmosphere. Just something to think about.
Okay.
Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, we.
Since I'm late to the party, did I miss the part about explaining how a Fresnel lens works?
Actually, we didn't talk about it this time. We were talking about it last time, but if you wish to, go right ahead.
Yeah. For Rob Skiba's experiment to be valid, the center of the lens would have to be in direct line between the observer and the target.
Indeed.
If you notice, he's doing the center of the lens above both. They're not. It's not in a direct line. He's looking through the bottom half of the Fresnel lens, which makes things look lower.
Yeah, it's magnifying a completely different part of the image than he is indicating is being magnified.
Well, if you also pay attention, when he's showing through the lens, he's not showing from the above the center of the lens, because it would make things appear higher.
And here we are again, making the question: is he doing this shit intentionally, or is he really just that dumb?
I don't know if you've touched on his next video yet or not, but it becomes very apparent he's doing it intentionally, and Sly actually picked up on it too.
Well, it has to be, because that we talked about before as well. With this little experiment he just showed here, the only way he could not know what we just talked about is if he never stood up after doing it. After he was bent down and had his phone at the table level. If he stayed crouched over like that while he walked away from the experiment, because if he would have stood up, he would have seen the effect that we just mentioned.
Just to stop right there, please say you're going to cover his Sun Under Clouds video next, because in that he actually demonstrates that he knows exactly how he's deceiving people.
Aha! Did I? Ooh, I wonder if I got that one queued up here.
So, spoiler, I have watched his next video dealing with the sun under the clouds.
Sun under the... That sounds like an interesting one. All right.
It sounds very romantic.
All right. Let's see. We got another short coming up. and then maybe we'll go digging for that one. We had, let's see, Philip DuPont recommended that we watch Evolution is a Fairy Tale, Not the Bible by BBC by BBC International. And before anybody asks, no, not that one. It's Bible Baptist Church International. Not. I'm surprised nobody made a fuss about that name, like BBC, for example.
Or the other BBC.
Well, he does only have 900 subscribers, so
So it hasn't quite made it to the radar. All right. Let us see why evolution is in fact a fairy tale, and the Bible is actually the truth. Here it comes.
Hello, this is Pastor Gene Kim from San Jose Bible Baptist Church. A lot of atheists and evolutionists, they'll try to say to you, oh, so you believe that Jonah was swallowed by a whale? How many animals can fit inside Noah's Ark? Jesus turned water into wine. Oh, he raised himself from the dead. You believe some magic being created the whole universe in just 6 days, just like that. They'll make fun of you saying, how can you believe that kind of stuff? Well, actually, evolution is even more hard to believe. All right, I'm going to give you several cases to show it, all right? Now, first, let me ask you this. Is this myth or science? Frog plus kiss plus something turned it into man. Do you think that's myth or science? You might say myth. Well, that's correct.
I don't even know who called that first.
Everybody.
Everybody. Okay, everybody, you're up.
But dude, are you fucking kidding me? Isn't that story about the frog and the princess or whatever?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
yes.
What?
Yeah. Okay.
What?
So he's asking us, is this science or myth?
Yes. And I suspect
And
somehow he's going to equivocate.
Technically, it's neither because it's a fairy tale.
Yeah, is this him establishing a baseline or what?
Yes, he's trying to establish a baseline here.
Hey, just as a side note, I don't know if it's just me, but I find Asian Christians particularly funny. I don't know why.
Okay.
Just
All right.
is that racist? No.
That might be.
Let me add.
It's not racist if it makes you giggle. I mean, come on, I'm not like rawr, angry.
Racists love to laugh at the people they hate failing. I mean, come on, dude. Come on, dude.
He's gonna solve for X, right? I totally want to know what you add to these things to get the right answer.
Hey, what the fuck is Perry calling me for?
One thing I want to say, which is kind of nitpicky.
Okay.
One
Is he
thing
drunk?
that's telling
What's going on?
One thing that's telling of his intelligence is grammar. You know, more hard rather than using harder. Just a little thing.
Okay.
Nitpick.
He might be ESL though. He might be English second language.
Could be. All right. Let's see. I know there's some equivocation coming. Let's see.
Actually, it's because you know that myth story, right? The princess kissed the frog, and then what? It equaled a man. All right, let's look at this story right here, this case. A sheep or cow, okay, plus water, plus something that happened equal whale. Now, do you think that's myth or do you think that's science? No, it's myth.
What?
Science. No, seriously? Yeah, they seriously believe it. Evolution actually seriously teaches that, all right? Here's a quote. Transitional forms have been scarce, but a few suggestive fossils were recently discovered in India of a four-legged mammal whose skull and teeth resemble whales. And during the 1980s, serum protein tests were made on whales' blood to compare it with the biochemistry of other living animal groups. The results link them not to bears or carnivores, but to hoofed.
Oh. All right. Who was that?
Hello.
Oh, okay.
Hello.
Hi there. Welcome.
I am. This was a bad idea. I now realize.
Okay. What make?
Terrible idea. Hold on. Too many people.
Okay.
Moving on.
All right, moving on.
Animals. Forerunners of whales were closely related to the ancestors of cattle, deer, and sheep. Such a conclusion fits with the general behavior of the great baleen whales, who move in pods or herds and strain the sea for plankton. They are like antelopes or cattle, social grazers.
miles an hour on the freeway. I am having a good time.
All right. What the hell?
At least he's having a good time.
So it would
And he
seem.
dropped out, so
Okay.
It's not cows, dude. It's hippos. Hippos evolved, not the.
All right. So here's the first equivocation. The whales evolving from a land animal is like the princess kissing the frog. Okay, I'm with him so far.
You see, that's what they seriously believe. That's found in R. Milner's book, Encyclopedia of Evolution, 1990 edition. All right, now let's look at the next story here, all right? The next case. Animal plus nose pulling plus something happen equals elephant. Myth or science?
I want to know.
Is this science?
nose pulling?
Nose pulling. That's
What is nose pulling?
that's how we ended up with.
Is he retarded?
We'll just say.
I gotta know.
We'll just say extremely religious. How's that?
No, because I don't.
Just to point out that. Just to
I'm
point out,
serious.
nose
I
pulling
don't want
led-
to make fun of a retarded person.
Just to point out that if nose pulling led to elephants, then all men should have like 8-foot long penises.
Very good point.
Okay. All right.
Just saying.
Well, that's actually myth. It does sound like it. That's too incredible. Myth, right? Yeah, so it's myth. So you know Rudyard Kipling's story, right? About the crocodile who pulled on the nose of the elephant. That's how that animal supposedly became the elephant. Okay, so here's the next case right here. Animal plus neck stretching plus something that happened equal giraffe. Is that myth or science? You might say, well, yeah, myth, similar with this one. No, it's actually science. Evolution actually teaches that. Yeah, they seriously teach it. All right, Charles Darwin, Origin of the Species, 1859, page 202. Quote, so under nature with the nascent giraffe, the individuals which were the highest browsers and were able during darts to reach even an inch or two above the others will often have been preserved. By this process long continued, combined no doubt in a most important manner with the inherited effects of increased use of parts. It seems to me almost certain that any ordinary hoofed quadruped might be converted into a giraffe. Yep, they seriously believe that. All right, let's look at the next case right here.
This
Animal plus nose moving plus something that happened equals water animal. Well, that's got to be a myth. Yep. No, science. It is science. No, you got to be kidding me. Yeah, it's true, okay? All right, let me read you here. R. Milner's book again, Encyclopedia of Evolution, and it can be found on pages 26 through 27. Quote,
This coal mining is so bad.
another change the cetaceans underwent in adapting to their re-entry to the...
Oh, comment.
But hold on, it's the quotes that the quotes actually explain the proper science. He's not even quote mining. Like with the giraffe, he actually explained that the ones with the longer necks would get more food, and therefore have more children.
Nowhere in that
Yeah,
document did it say neck stretching. It said
It's like no individual. He actually read the right thing, which made me bash my head.
It's a.
Well, one of the things that he's probably trying to do is one, he's taking quotes out of context, and then adding his own context in it about like the neck stretching thing, and two, crap, I just had a brain fart. He's basically saying that evolution is supposed to happen from one generation to the next. He's not understanding that this happens over several thousand generations.
exactly.
But I don't think he even understands that. I think he thinks that individuals evolve. That like literally, that giraffe A starts off his life with a neck of one length, and by the time it dies, it has a longer neck. I think that's what he thinks.
When they're younger, they have shorter necks than the adults. Come on.
I was going to wait.
through their life.
Your audience knows it's overpopulations, right?
Yeah.
Generation. Yeah.
Apparently, this fellow doesn't. And I was gonna wait till he was done talking to just say straw man 4 times, but
Yeah.
What's this
Well,
guy's
he's
name?
done strawman. He's done false equivocations. He's done
this
quote mining. He's done
Pastor Pastor Dumbfuck Guy?
So yeah, I think you just nailed it on the head.
I also like how he's using a paper encyclopedia from 1990.
All right, here we go.
See was a position of their nostrils. From a position on the upper jaw, as far forward as possible, the nostrils moved upward and backward until they are today located atop the head. Sometimes as a single opening, sometimes as a double opening, and these return-to-sea mammals became voluntary breathers, breathing only upon conscious effort. Unlike man and other mammals who are involuntary breathers, the development or return of a dorsal fin for lateral stability was another change that took place in some of the cetaceans upon their return to the sea. You're serious? Yeah, seriously, they believe that. They seriously believe that. All right, now, here's the difference with Bible-believing Christians and evolutionists, okay? See, these fantastical things we can believe happen because it requires a supernatural, something supernatural, or God that created the result. You see that? So, Jonah getting swallowed by a whale, all the animals that can fit into Noah's Ark, Jesus turning water into wine. It's not a problem for us because that fantastic can be more believable because something supernatural, God created it. But you think it's easier to believe that what? Time and chance happening created this fantastical result? You see that? Totally.
I would say drink.
I like to call it the argument from giggling, and Eric Hovind does it a lot.
Well, he was taking issue with moving body parts through evolution. Now, he can look at a flounder and see that in a single generation for moving body parts. When it's young, it has eyes on both sides of its head. As it grows older, one eye actually moves to the opposite side so it can lay flat on its side on the seafloor. So he's got no premise for his whole argument about body parts moving around.
Agreed. And I think he also said in his last paragraph there that if we are willing to admit the existence of a God, then he's fine with all of these. It sounded like that's what he's saying.
That's what he's trying to say.
So that's a rather funny version of "we don't know, therefore God."
Right. So it's not the equation that's the problem; it's what we plug in.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Fortunately, he left all those little God pockets there, the little question marks, which is...
In summary, he said that science is more fantastical than the supernatural.
Indeed, and he gave us a graphic representation of God of the Gaps here on his board. Alrighty.
Yes.
That's why everyone goes to Vegas for the science shows.
Bogus.
Point out also,
Yes.
it's not time and chance; it's time and natural selection and survival of the fittest. That's not chance.
Yeah, it's not a roll of the dice.
I would think there's a bit of luck involved.
Well, yeah, the lucky ones are the ones who survive, but
Indeed. Alrighty. And yeah, this was another short. We got about a minute left here. Let's see what other pearls of wisdom drop from this fellow's mouth.
Totally impossible. So you see that? What's more easier to believe in? You see, you make fun of us that Jonah got swallowed by a whale, but we make fun of you that some animal moved its nose all the way to the back of its head because some time and chance. It's more easier to believe in something supernatural, see, would create something fantastical in the end. So that's why Christians have a much more easier faith. It's more easier to believe in our kind of fantastical stories compared to your version of fantastical stories because of time and chance happenings.
Okay.
That hurt my brain.
The dark side, easier, more seductive it is. But it's
Yes.
still wrong.
Yes, and it's easier to understand. There's no pesky facts to get in the way.
You don't have to learn.
Plus, let's not forget the most important part. You get with evolution and with science in general, there's no concept of the warm and fuzzies. You see, religion is true because it gives you the warm and fuzzies.
Yes.
Well, that wraps it up for that. That I hope that explained to everyone why evolution is a fairy tale, not the Bible. Now, now, now we understand. I feel so enlightened. All right, what do we got
That's
next?
just your IQ dropping from watching the video.
Alrighty, let's see. What do we got? Oh, meteors.
Ski-ba, ski-ba, ski-ba.
Hold on, I got another one. I got another one queued up here.
I gotta sneak out of the video real quick.
Yep, come back.
Well, if it's not sneaking if you tell us.
You guys didn't hear that.
All right, all right. Hey, somebody snuck out. What happened?
When I snuck in.
All right, well, excellent. Okay, meteors, asteroids, planet formation, flat Earth. Here it comes.
Oh boy. Oh God.
Oh no.
What's up, everybody? John the Morgile here, signing in for yet another video as YouTube puts the hammer down on truther channels, also known as fake news, according to the real news companies. Speaking on behalf of all the real, actual truth channels struggling through the so-called algorithm change, which is actually a stab at killing the truth, we're seeking new venues to share our work, and YouTube tries to put the cat back into the bag, tries to be rid of its unique trait that once was really the crown jewels of YouTube, the ability to easily share your position with people who want to hear it, or you yourself enjoying compelling messages of truth with ease. Now, that really was an awesome thing with YouTube, and I can tell you there's a huge market on the horizon for people who desire to express their First Amendment
Blah,
right.
blah, blah.
Don't forget
Is
to
he gonna tell us about
resubscribe to all
mini-moons
your
or what?
favorite channels you were once subscribed to. If
I
you
didn't
can
understand a
possibly
single
remember
thing
them
you
all.
just said.
Here, we'll stop this. Resay.
I
I didn't understand.
blah, blah. Oh, you say resay, not me again.
Yeah.
You heard me.
I didn't understand the first thing you just said. I was lost.
He said, why there are memes, kids? Remember, 15 weeks a day.
I could have.
Way.
What the fuck is going on?
Excuse me, gentlemen. Oh, there's Curry.
All right, that was fun. Let's let DeMorgal continue with his pre-show whining.
Meanwhile, we'll continue making videos here as long as possible for your enjoyment, as our view counts, search ranking, and subscriber base are whittled down by YouTube, and our core audiences are kept unaware of the content we work very hard to release.
Uh-oh.
Of course, this
Drink.
bizarre backstabbery...
Okay.
Drink.
Okay.
Okay. He clearly doesn't know how the new YouTube works. If you're subscribed, you won't get notifications like you used to unless you hit the little bell. If you hit the bell, you still get notifications like you always have, and actually get more notifications because it will start emailing you the notifications. So if he's not getting the views that he's wanted, it's because his subscribers don't care enough about his own channel to hit the bell.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
And I don't see where so far any of this has to do with the topic at hand. Meteors,
Well, I'm just demonstrating that he doesn't know jack shit about what he's talking about.
I just like
yeah.
his bitching about YouTube, but he put YouTube's logo at like the first 10 seconds of his video at the YouTube logo for some reason.
That's called putting on the knee pads to try to get more views.
Maybe, maybe so. But yeah, nothing he said so far has anything to do with meteors, asteroids, or planet formation. Hopefully,
I would like to project.
What was that?
Sorry, I'm probably roboting again. Hello, I am back.
Well, welcome back. All right.
I apologize for the interjection beforehand.
Not at all. Interject at will. Moving on.
How's everybody doing today? Are you drunk?
I think he got an early start.
Oh, don't about it. I just had a friend trying to stay quiet, sitting outside, trying not to get shot. How's everybody doing today?
We are doing surprisingly well after 2 short videos, just replete with stupid. I'm actually surprised all of us are still capable of speech, but we're doing well.
See, this is one of the reasons why I came in late. I did the smart thing.
Good choice. All right. Let us. I wonder how much. Okay, he hasn't started talking about what the title of the video yet. Minute and a half of whining. Let's see how much more whining there is.
Or courtesy of YouTube, doesn't seem especially pertinent to all quote-unquote truther channels. You've got brand new fake truth channels making meteoric rises, as it were, as the actual truth channels struggle to get their content in front of
What
their
the fuck is
subscribers
this?
and interested
Did you
viewers
preview
looking for
this
new
before
content
we
creators
watched it? I
to
mean-
view.
What is happening?
It would be nice to have something like YouTube once was back online that we could migrate to. By the way, the phrase meteoric rise really is a
God's
terrible
sake.
cliche, isn't it? We all know that
Drink.
meteors are typically going
Who suggested this?
I grabbed this one.
You're fired.
Oh, damn it. Don't worry.
Skiba.
I was really hoping to hear something about the Cheblinsk meteor because that shit was freaking amazing.
Well,
And he's just bitching about his sandy vagina. I mean, come on.
yes, but he can't do that forever. And it's.
Oh, he's the Morgile. He can.
All right. Let's say how much. It's only 24 minutes long. How much more
I
can
thought you said it had a minute and a half left in it. I thought
No.
it was all just him
That's how
bitching.
much whining has occurred. And now it's 2:15.
This is the Morgale, so you have to jump forward about halfway through the video to actually get to the meat of the content.
All right. Let's if it continues much longer, we'll just jump ahead.
be headed in the downward direction, right? The definition of a meteor is a noun, quote, a small body of matter from the ether that enters the Earth's atmosphere.
Atmosphere!
Drink. What the hell dictionary is he getting this from?
Yeah, I was just going to say, what definition is he using? Because that's not the definition that's commonly accepted.
No.
Probably the same one that they got their
Using them
evidence.
flat
from
Earth
and
terms,
proved.
boy.
That's okay. First we got the ether, and then we got the atmosphere. All right.
Let's see where else he goes.
Becoming incandescent as a result of friction and appearing as a streak of light through the sky, end quote. So I'm really at a loss as to how a meteor would ever rise in any model of the Earth, flat or otherwise. This oxymoron of an analogy got me thinking about meteors and what they are, so at least the analogy accomplished something other than subconsciously confusing people about meteors.
Okay, here it comes.
Of course, in the heliocentric model, we assume that meteors often come from collisions in the so-called asteroid belt, or just errant space junk brought onto course with the allegedly spherical Earth by the gravity of Jupiter. Of course, this is all ridiculous nonsense. However, the fact is, globeheads need an explanation for
Why is it ridiculous
everything.
nonsense? Why?
Explain.
What is happening?
Not
What
entirely.
is happening?
Not entirely sure.
So, flat
Because
earthers
he's
need some
Googling.
explanations for meteors, it would appear. We could be like the globeheads and just make something up and then build dogma around it and then force it upon all future generations of toddlers as fact. But we actually want to understand reality properly, so it's important that we remain true to the zetetic process of discernment, or the scientific method. In reality, we'll probably never have verified evidence of where meteors actually come from, but thinking about this has helped me to realize, and now explain to the very few of you who will get to enjoy the privilege of watching this video, how the explanation of the formation of the so-called planets, as well as the existence of the so-called asteroid belt, disprove the heliocentric model. Right, so we'll break this video down into two sections. First, let's deal with the problems just mentioned in the heliocentric model. Then we'll look at an interesting theory I have for meteoroids, or meteors, in the flat Earth model. So first, we'll do problems with the planet formation and the asteroid belt. So, the problem with the formation of the so-called planets, as described in the heliocentric theory, or the alleged existence of the so-called asteroid belt, is the described behavior of so-called gravity. So again, the problem that we have is the theoretical force called gravity that governs all things in the heliocentric model. Now, I should mention that the so-called planets which I will refer to from here on out as either the planets or the wandering stars. So, in other words, please accept this as a blanket caveat for so-called or alleged planets, which are merely lights in the night sky, apparently moving relative to the background stars,
Why
and
don't you
hence the
actually
name
get to the
wandering
fucking point
stars.
already?
So the idea of spherical worlds in space orbiting the sun is a myth, which I will show and prove in this video. Now, the prevailing theory...
Okay. So spherical planets are a myth now. All right. Oh wait, that's right. They do. In a previous video we had all watched, somebody said something about telescopes being coming to us pre-programmed with images of planets. Yeah. Okay. So I guess my purely optical device must be.
I like
to-
the battery in my telescope. Hey, that's just me.
What I say, these wandering stars seem to keep to, even though they're wandering, seem to keep to a nice, pretty little path, time and time again.
They do, and oddly enough, it's a path that, when looked at from a geocentric point of view, is extremely difficult, if not impossible, to predict, and yet is frighteningly simple when looked at as it should be from helios. Yeah, you never really go into that. Wandering, just using wandering, that covers it. That's like a pass.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm so upset he called us globe heads. That really hurts.
No, apparently we're rays. Whatever that. I've never heard that one.
Does
I
anybody
got called a pear-tard the other day. That was kind of funny.
What the fuck?
What?
Yeah.
What? So what's with a ray? What is that? Does anyone know what that means?
It's from some TV show, and it was just like short for retard.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, what a dick.
I like it.
I like Atmosplane. All right.
Of the formation of the
Horizon,
planets,
though.
the heliocentric theory is a complex, intricate, steaming pile of garbage which will never be observed, let alone verified. It's important to understand what globeheads believe, even if they don't know it or understand it, especially if they don't know that they don't know or understand it. So, to understand how the Globe team believes the planets were formed demands we go back to the theoretical beginning of it all, the Big Bang Theory. According to the religion of scientism, the entire universe, everything was packed into an extremely small area. How one could get all of the billions and billions of extremely massive galaxies and stars and planets alleged to exist in the cosmos into an area the size of a pea, along with all of the energy of the universe.
Okay, Drink. I'm surprised. I'm surprised I was the first one to call that.
You just beat me.
Okay. This is
I tuned out. I honestly can't bear it.
Understandable. As far as I know, the Big Bang Theory starts at the point of the singularity. No one has ever mentioned anything about stuffing a pre-existing universe down into something of that size. Yes.
Another big misconception is when they talk about singularity, they're referring to a single point. It doesn't necessarily have to be a single point. We don't know how much area, so to speak, all of this was contained in. Technically, the entire universe was contained in it because it was the size of the universe. Everything existed within a single area. But we don't know how big that was.
Yeah, it wasn't minuscule. It wasn't very, very tiny.
Definition of singularity is not based on size.
And there is some serious possible non-productive conversation to be had as to whether size. I can't believe I was going to say that. I might as well.
Yeah. I know where you're going with that.
All right, might as well since I started. As to whether size even matters in such a case, because
that off your chest.
Yes, indeed. Because I mean, all right. While this expansion was occurring, if the universe was smaller, I'm just guessing that any units of measure would be proportionally smaller as well.
Correct. That's why I say the universe has always been the size of the universe.
Indeed. And where was the Big Bang? How come we can't see where it was? We can everywhere. That's
Yeah,
everywhere
it's the
we can
entire
see.
universe.
Yes, everywhere we can see, that's where it was, and all the places we can't see too. All right.
Is still a mystery to lionists. Honestly, this isn't a big surprise to me.
Oh, that's
As
a new
modern,
New vocabulary word, liantist.
vocabulary word.
That's three new words we've learned from this foolishness.
Get with the times,
lionists don't
paratard.
have
They've
a
been using
coherent-
that one for a while.
I've never heard that one yet. I've been dealing with flat earthers for
Yeah, no shit.
year and
I
a half.
thought you would have heard that.
Now
Yeah, I've not heard that one.
that's a new one to
Their
me as
favorite
well.
Their favorite ones are astronaut.
Yeah.
Oh god, they all kinds of acronyms for NASA.
Astronaut? I think I started that one.
Astro NOT.
Yep. I started that with this dumbass spherical trigonometry chick on Google Plus.
Oh.
They were
Oh my
laughing.
god,
Oh,
dude!
not that one. Did you run into her whole club too, or just that one?
No, I infiltrated that shit.
Oh,
Kicked in the front door.
I was that guy.
you were that guy.
That was one of the angles of approach, one of the angles of attack I tried to use to get through to these fucktards. And
now spherical trigonometry, if I remember correctly, was one of the who was the guy?
Richard Byrd.
Bird, the Birdman. Absolutely, yes.
Little Dicky Bird.
Yes, that had his all of his supporters to echo everything he said, who coincidentally were all unmarried females. I don't know if there's a connection there.
In fact, in the essence of closure, I actually used Mason to kind of get in there with Richard Byrd, even because he was kind of skeptical of me, and I was like, fuck it, I just fucking talk shit because just to piss guys like Mason off. And shit.
I see.
True story. They were laughing, and yeah, I was in their gang for a little while. I mean, they all knew I was a Glober.
You were a plant.
But I didn't roast them too bad. But when she started just hell of lying about NASA, I mean, just out and out lies that take 2 seconds and I called her ass on it, and I gave her a verbal lashing and shit. She blocked me.
That was that's I do remember the block as soon as you come up with anything valid, the block hammer falls.
Oh, it wasn't even just valid. I fucking thrashed her.
I'm surprised it got that far. That one and Bird blocked me pretty quick. Well done.
I'm a charming motherfucker, and I'm pretty, so it gets you places with chicks,
Well, all right. I see your point. I'm crabby. I'm crabby and unpleasant.
She saw my point too. That's why I was sticking around. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but Snide, so does chloroform and rope. So yeah.
Well, I know someone else who's a MacGyver fan. Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Explanation for the phenomenon of thunder and lightning, yet they claim to know everything about everything.
It's
Now,
Thor.
Wait, did he just say there's no explanation for thunder and lightning? He couldn't have said that.
It's Thor.
Like Mason said, it is Thor.
Yeah.
I mean, hey. Thor and Odin promised us that there would be no ice giants. I see no ice giants. Checkmate, dude. Where are the ice giants?
They're not here, obviously.
Checkmate.
And there's still thunder and lightning here, isn't there?
Yeah. Ho. Coincidence? I think not.
Fuck no. Odin's bad at. There's eagles too.
All right, let us continue. Right, thunder and lightning, complete mystery. Got it.
What was outside this extremely small area, packed with everything in the universe, is a mystery as well, and it boggles the mind to consider that enveloping everything packed into a pea-sized area, and yet still having the materials to have nothing outside the pea-sized area is sort of a mind-boggler. I mean,
Actually, it's that one we might have to forgive him for because it is difficult for people to kind of wrap their head around the concept that there might not be such a thing as an outside. It's our evolution has not prepared us to understand such things. Everything that we're inside of, we assume there's an outside. So we may have to just let that slide by.
was it like a
Nope.
bowl of peas, or a single pea in space, or a single pea laying on the floor? This isn't even the point, but according to the prevailing theory of the big...
Yes?
Okay. I already went over. Everything inside the universe was inside the Big Bang. And he's now equating that there's something outside of the universe that the Big Bang was sitting on top of.
Yes, he
That's
did.
the problem. If everything inside the universe was contained in the singularity, there is nothing outside of it. The universe is expanding. There's nothing outside of that we know of. We can't see that far.
Indeed. But that's the one I said we might have to let him slide on because we're just...
I wasn't letting him slide on putting more material outside of the known universe.
Yeah.
Because you can't say that either.
Yeah, you're right. That's a different point. Good call.
Beginning of all things, this extremely compressed area full of everything exploded somehow, and...
expanded.
You know, because you would imagine that everything packed into the size of a pea would be extremely rich in gravity, right? Now, so everything exploded somehow and expanded at extreme velocities, and this was the Big Bang Theory. Now, according to Globers, this all occurred about 13.7 billion years ago. Science knows this because scientists know everything, even if they can't prove any of it, or simply observe anything close to it. So one question I have is, what medium is all this matter and energy supposedly traveling through? You know, the Big Bang explosion. If everything was contained within a pea-sized area, we must assume that space and time existed outside of it, right?
No. Just a no is good enough for that, right?
Yes.
All right.
Otherwise, this mysterious explosion would necessarily be writing time and space ahead of the cutting edge of the explosion. This leads me to the understanding that the pea containing everything in the Big Bang Theory must have been a pea floating around in space-time and must have been extremely...
Okay, now he's just saying stuff.
Yeah. Now it's just word salad.
Exactly. He's heard words, and he's just using as many of them as he knows. I mean, as far as I know, space-time came into existence and is contained within the universe, which is still expanding.
Again, along those lines, all of the fundamental forces, all four of them, happened because as a result of the Big Bang, which means gravity wouldn't be holding it all together to begin with because it wasn't created until after the Big Bang. That's the current running hypothesis.
Somebody ought to tell him that. All right. I'll go over to his comments after.
Rich in gravity. In fact, so rich in theoretical gravity that it couldn't have possibly exploded, but okay, we'll give him the Big Bang. At any rate, at some point this hysterical explosion started forming stars. Now, stars are allegedly created by a process that is described as forming inside relatively dense concentrations of theoretical interstellar gas and dust known as molecular clouds. Now, I should mention that we do not have any evidence for these molecular clouds. These regions are...
Observation!
Okay.
Get a freaking telescope, long exposure camera, look up. We have many star beds that we are actively observing all the time because they're forming new stars.
Ooh, and wait till we get Webb, the Webb Space Telescope up. That is going to be interesting because we'll be able to see through the dust and see the birth of stars. That is going to be interesting.
Are you guys not getting hungry every time he, in his seductive voice, says "rich in gravity"? It just makes me.
No, every time he laughs in that cocky, like "I got you there" kind of thing, I punch myself in the face. I do.
Haha, NASA.
I say "got you there" when when you don't accept criticism and just ignore it and make a video that's all one-sided.
I would recommend to anybody watching these Oven Mitt. Oven Mitt will keep your facial features safe. Strongly
I've
recommended.
already worn out like 3 pairs of cool hard logic Oven Mitts.
On a related stupid ass flat tard comment, I saw Pissy Pete O'Shea say something about stars. He said that scientism is constantly contradicting itself. I mean, he goes, if the sun is made out of pure light and photons have no mass, how is it supposed to have all that gravity?
Really?
True story.
Oh,
Not even lying.
Okay. Well, see, no.
Okay, hold on. We make LED lights, which are based on the same principle of all stars. You excite you excite atoms as they fuse and combine. One electron gets overcharged, and as it comes back down to its normal state, it releases a photon. That is light. It has nothing to do with the mass. Total false equivocation.
Indeed.
Yeah, maybe you missed the part that he said that stars are made out of pure light.
Oh, I wasn't commenting on that because that's when I said, oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was another one that just a no would have sufficed to that.
Yeah, no.
You gotta bring
That's
it up
not
to
even
the,
wrong.
You gotta bring it up to the viewers to point out why he's just so wrong.
Indeed. Or would that qualify for not even wrong?
Everything in flat Earth qualifies as not even wrong.
All right. Very good. All righty. Moving on.
Extremely cold, allegedly. Temperature is about 10 to 20 Kelvin, according to scientists, just above absolute zero, which is a theoretical temperature.
The what?
At these temperatures, gases
Drink.
become molecular.
Drink, dude.
Oh, okay. That.
Fucking scientists.
Okay, and anything
Oh
more,
my God.
or just drink?
I just seen the picture that you got posted up there. That's the fingers of God, or the pillars of God, or pillars of creation, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's one of the star beds that we're watching.
The ones that don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we have actively witnessed forming stars.
That's happening in the firmament 3,000 miles up.
Oh my god.
How can someone be this dumb? How? How?
There does seem to be an awful lot of it, though. All right. Here we go.
Meaning that the atoms allegedly bind together. These images, and many others like them, are obvious forgeries from NASA. Now, I've rotated them to adhere to the notion that there is no up or down in space. There is, however, certainly up and down in space art, so when the images are rotated 180 or 90 degrees, your eye will not be fooled quite as easily. Now, if you really scrutinize images such as these, you'll begin to realize how preposterous the theory and blatant forgery of star formation truly is. What I'll quickly mention is the fact that these clouds, these molecular clouds, are supposedly frozen. Indeed, only a cult as absurd as NASA and globism could come up with something as laughable as frozen clouds in the vacuum of space, forming stars somehow. This star...
Wait a minute.
One big guy.
Frozen clouds in the vacuum of...
What the fuck's he on about?
Where'd that even come from?
Derp, derp.
He's complaining because there's not much change in one picture taken years later as far as the cloud formations go, but he's totally cherry picking the ones that don't change much to ones that change quite often and quite rapidly.
You know how large
You only get
those
the
things are?
You only get the rapid changes when you're dealing with a supernova that's just gone supernova, and you actually see the clouds of the stellar matter expanding around them very, very fast. We actually have documentation of this happening on one supernova. God, where was it? It happened in like the late 70s, and by the late 90s, the cloud had literally gone to almost nothing because it expanded so far. So the pillars of creation, I believe, are farther away from that supernova. So, just going by perspective, which they love to do, something that's farther away as it moves looks like it doesn't move quite as much. I'm a little tired, but I'm hoping that kind of made sense.
Yeah.
Did see? I was looking at this fella a little different than Skiba before. I'm not entirely sure this one knows he's full of shit.
No, he doesn't. He denies anything that proves him wrong. I mean, Morgal was one of the first people, like probably the top 5 that I started to leave comments on before I ever started making videos 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And he just totally ignores them and just keeps moving on with more and more prattle. He's always been that way. He accepts nothing that doesn't agree with him.
I see. Well, I guess that's part of what makes him so entertaining. Alrighty.
That's the word you're going to use for him, really?
I'm trying to be polite, which is odd.
I'm not.
Which is odd for me, because as anyone who knows me is well aware, I'm basically crabby and unpleasant. I don't know why I'm trying to be pleasant here, but all right, let's see what else he has
Just
for
let
us.
the alcohol do the talking. Just let the alcohol do the talking.
Oh, you don't want that. Here we go.
The forming space cloud, or nebula, I like to call hermaphrodite nebula, comes complete with both male and female reproductive organs.
What?
But honestly, if these frozen clouds in the vacuum of space are forming stars within them, which
But
is
then
a
we gendered
major
this known as
illogical leap of
Apache. It's Apache.
That's. I'm. What the hell did I just watch? Okay.
faith and theory, and confirmed by forged pictures from NASA, I would like to know who is lighting these giant clouds of dust and space.
Oh, okay. Conspiracy confirmed. All penises are from space.
I was getting a bird.
All right.
Debris. Who's lighting them for the shot? Do they have a lighting guy up there somewhere in the universe? So
That would be
it's
called
obvious
stars
that
forming inside of them.
Yeah. See
Give
that.
yourself a long camera and a telescope. That's all you need.
See that he has trouble with. The moon generating its own light, they're all fine with. But when there's an actual mechanism for the lighting, no, unacceptable. That's obviously just more crap from the lientists. But not the moon. The moon lights up. Why? Because reasons. Gotcha.
NASA is faking these images.
Just to point out, with that picture he's showing right now, I can totally see how stars are formed. They self-reproduce in the nebula. They poke themselves. After all, it does have the sexual organs of both genders.
You see, looking at that, I don't think I would have come up with that he
You got your little star eggs. You got your little star penises.
I mean, if you look carefully, that penis is heading towards the vagina. So yeah, it's making new stars.
All right. We could be headed for a shared Nobel Prize here. Star formation. Okay, well, he's explained it. Moving on.
And anyone who believes this is real must be extremely deceived and loving it. Now, according to Lions, quote,
a spiral
You just
galaxy
learned that
like
word,
the
I
Milky
swear.
Way contains stars, stellar remnants, and a diffuse interstellar medium, or ISM, of
All
gas
spirit
and
science on us with his voice.
Yeah, so it would seem.
dust. The interstellar medium consists of anywhere from 10 to the negative fourth to...
Wait a minute, you know who he sounds like? Spirit Science.
That's what I just said. Did we just switch to a spirit science video? He sounds like Patch. I'm waiting for it to pop up on screen.
See, now would be a good time for an of course.
10 to the 6 particles per cubic centimeter.
Oh, it's
and
not
is typically
circumcised. It's a space Jew.
composed of roughly 70% hydrogen by mass, with most of the remaining gas consisting of helium.
So we're expected to believe that some of the lowest density gases exist in a frozen state adjacent to an infinite near
See, I thought he was talking about that before. We all talked about it as if by frozen he meant not moving. He didn't. From what he just said now, in a frozen state, he thinks it's really frozen, like
Yeah, like frozen,
like burr
in the
chili
freezer.
frozen, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I caught that in the beginning too when he said frozen clouds. Like he expects there to be like liquid water frozen clouds.
Yeah, but
Fucking idiot.
when we started talking about it, I thought, yeah, maybe he does mean not moving. Maybe that's what he means by frozen. But no.
Oh no.
He- All right.
Perfect vacuum. Now, what I'd like to know is what is preventing these clouds from evaporating into the void of space? If you say it's gravity, then you simply don't understand the theory of gravity, which allegedly
There's no
creates
atmosphere in
planets,
space.
stars, and galaxies, binding them all together, and creates the amount of gases floating around in the vacuum of space. Now, this is quite absurd because gases simply cannot exist as clouds in a vacuum. If you say this possible because they're frozen, then how can it be a cloud if it's frozen? If you say it's a cloud made of frozen atoms or molecules, then we're back to the starting point question. Again, what is preventing these clouds from evaporating into the void of space? The fact is, star-creating nebulae only...
Okay, not only is he thinking frozen means ice cube like frozen, you know what now? Let him go.
exist in the realm of absurd conjecture or imagination verse, and NASA has provided some really quite obvious forgeries to support their deceptive worldview, theoretically solving massive problems with the model by snapping these multi-billion-dollar pictures of liarrhea. So, with all that being said, once these stars allegedly formed by...
This guy, I'm done.
Are you kidding, Dev? I mean, think of the vocabulary we're learning here.
We got liarrhea now.
Now that is what in old days we would call an SAT word. All right. So in addition to him thinking frozen means frozen, he's also thinking cloud means like the poofy little clouds of water vapor we have here.
I don't think he understands that all matter has gravity.
By what he just said, I'd say that's a fairly accurate assessment.
Everything he knows about Frozen, he learned from that Disney movie.
Hey, let it go, man. Let it go.
Oh my God.
By this preposterous theoretical process, the stars themselves allegedly trail gases in all directions around themselves, even though they're supposedly traveling at super high velocities, somewhere around, say, 500,000 miles an hour. Somehow these gases remain stuck to all sides of the star as it travels. The gases surrounding theoretical stars after they've been jettisoned out of their birthing nebula, the gases around the stars then coalesce into planets. The planets are now...
Okay, that's where we're going with planet formation. Gases coalesce into planets. I'm not entirely sure that's the present theory. Maybe in a distant past. I think it's more like dust, heavier elements, things like that. I don't know that the Earth, for example, was formed from just hydrogen.
Well, to be fair, all stars create heavier elements, which will coalesce.
Indeed.
So early on, stars probably won't have much in the way of a oh God, what's it called?
Yep. What happened?
It's the disk. I can't remember what it's called. It starts with a C.
Not hearing you.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
I don't remember. The accretion disk. Stars usually won't have the heavier elements early on in their formation. That comes later when they start to fuse into heavier elements.
Actually, I'm not hearing anybody at the moment. Somebody say something.
Hello. Anything?
Well, that's interesting.
What the hell?
I'm not hearing anyone.
Really?
Gotta love Google Hangouts.
I hear everybody.
I hear everybody too.
If y'all will excuse me, I will exit and rejoin. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
What the fuck? That shit ain't cool. You should be drinking and driving.
Drink.
Yeah, I would have called drink, but he'd already had enough.
Serious echo from you, Sai. I can't hear Sai, but I can hear myself through Sai.
Space Jews.
Of course. And the technical term is interstellar time traveling Hebrews. Sai?
Hey, did they make a beer called Hebrew? If they don't, they should.
Dude, that'd be sick. The Hebrew, dude.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm so down. Hey man, what are you drinking? Oh, some Coors Light. Pfft, pussies. I got some Hebrews.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Oh man, I'm trying to think of a good pun to go along with that, but
Not pork rinds.
So wine coolers would be called sheep brew.
there you go. Hey.
Hoo hoo.
Well, this is fun.
We don't hear you, Sai.
They're talking to my bros.
Well, I heard myself echoing through him, so he's doing something to his sound settings.
You guys,
I'm not hearing
you guys are
echo
all
anymore.
you guys are all my Hebrews.
There's no. He just suddenly cut off. It wasn't a gradual thing.
Cut himself off. He's had enough of the Morgul too, I think.
Those machines have.
I think he might have swapped out the oven mitt for the oven.
Oh, ouch. You got the oven door instead. Oh.
Oh, here's something.
Oh, that's me. Just ignore it.
Oh yeah. And you two guys, try to get your dishes done and shit before the show. You know, no playing with those little Russian toys where you're clinking them all inside of each other while we're trying to do a podcast.
They're trying to make their penises grow.
All right, I'm back.
By instructing them.
With pots and pans? I mean, come on.
Some people are kinky.
Yeah. Weird shit
Teach his
going
own.
on out there.
The audience can hear us. That's what I just checked. That's kind of fun.
Oh yeah, I can hear all of you. I just couldn't hear any of you. That's the wonder of Hangouts on occasion. All right, let me get the screen share back up.
Yay, back to the fun.
I know what happened. I know what happened, Sai. Your computer was just totally pissed off that the Morgul was still talking.
that could very well be it. All right, has everyone got the screen share back?
Yep.
See.
Yep.
So what would have happened if the Earth was round?
All right, I gotta take. Let me.
Damn you, Alliance!
Here we go. Just gotta change this. 1 second.
I just find it so humorous that they sit there and say all science is a lie, but yet they're doing all this on something that was developed by science.
Indeed. There we go. Just had to fix that. Okay.
Famous last words.
Back to the.
It's all working now.
Yes, sir. Everything is under control. Back to the video.
Theoretically fixed to their host star by quote-unquote gravity. Now, here's the thing. If the planets are tethered to their host stars by gravity, then what exactly was tethering the gases to the host star in about the same place as the planet is formed before the planet was formed? So, in other words, what was keeping said gases intact while supposedly existing in vacuo? Remember, gravity is allegedly an acceleration due to extremely massive objects.
Is this
warping
retard for
space-time.
serious?
Have you ever seen an extremely dense
He
and massive...
made that one up.
We are really getting some good vocabulary here.
cloud of gas that creates gravity just like a world does? And even if you could say
mass matches, yes, it does.
that it is relative, it still doesn't solve the problem. If, say, the allegedly spherical Earth is kept at a certain distance from the Sun by gravity, because the Earth and Sun are so massive, then what was supposed to be tethering the gases around that region of space-time relative to the Sun before they were compressed into a planet by gravity? In case I'm not making myself clear, gravity is supposedly an extremely weak force, dependent on extremely massive bodies to affect space-time in such a drastic way so as to maintain a gravitic relationship between two objects zipping through a vacuum, tethered to one another by the gravity well created by the host star and reciprocated by the planet, again tethered by a vacuum and theoretical gravity. Such a reciprocative force simply would not exist prior to the creation of the planet, as the gases allegedly spread out over billions and billions of square miles simply cannot create the necessary gravity to complete the relationship between stars and high-density planets. Hence, such gases simply could not exist in the vacuum of space orbiting the Sun as the Earth does. It is impossible, even humoring the heliocentric model. Now, the asteroid belt is another form of this self-contained contradiction, and hence disproof of the H model, which is supposedly governed by gravity and chaos, of course. Now, according to the prevailing hyperbole of the religion of scientism, the asteroid belt was probably created, quote,
4.6 billion years ago, when our so-called solar system was being formed, a 10th planet tried to form between Mars and Jupiter. However, Jupiter's gravitational forces were so strong, so the material was unable to form a planet.
End quote from Cornell University. Now, if we
Hold
concede
on.
the
Hold on.
Holding?
He just claimed that was a quote, but then he put in the so-called in that whole quote. I don't think Cornell University put so-called in there at all.
Okay, quotation marks disqualified. No, wait, was that a drink moment or was that just a point of order?
That's just a point of how dishonest this dude is.
All right, I'll put the mug back down.
Logical heliocentric premise that the asteroids are traveling 15.5 miles per second, or about 55,800 miles an hour, then how is it possible for them to remain fixed in their positions relative to the Sun, seeing how they are each minuscule objects compared to even the smallest planet? Are we to believe that each individual asteroid is adequately warping space-time to create a gravitic relationship with the Sun? Doesn't that violate all of the laws of gravity which dictate you must have a planet-sized object to reciprocate such a relationship?
No. No.
I had to call one.
Not at all. Bumbling fool.
I think what
gravity says is supposed to happen at all.
No, it is. No, it is not. I think we all call drink on that one. So whoever wants to say something, go ahead.
Steal my thunder. Go ahead. That's fine.
No, we've already had quite a bit of commentary on. No, he doesn't understand what he's saying. This is
No,
more
definitely not.
more word salad.
Sun. Now, if
I
it
ever
was
get my
indeed
hands on
Jupiter's
this
gravity
guy.
that prevented the creation of this 10th planet, leaving the asteroid belt, then why do we still have an asteroid belt? The asteroids should be unable to remain fixed to an orbital plane and ellipse around the Sun at a given distance, mass, and velocity of each individual asteroid. The fact is, the heliocentric model does not work in this example, as it is comprised of error, faulty premises, and laws, arrogance, ignorance, and a blind eye to the plain simple truth. And that would be the heliocentric model again. I really don't understand how all the physicists in the world missed this really simple disproof
Drink.
of their model.
Okay.
They didn't. You're just stupid.
I'd say that's a good call.
This guy's essentially,
Does he really think Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Sir Isaac Newton, Copernicus, all these smart dudes just fucking missed it? Shut up, dude. I am so. Oh my god.
I'm waiting for his proofs of his model.
But to be clear, he thinks that gravity is a portal that opens up between objects?
Apparently.
What?
Is that what he thinks?
I'm gonna need another beer for that.
Yeah, I'd like his proofs would be nice because he's talking all this shit about zetetic, the zetetic way of stuff. Well, that's going by first-hand experience. So what is he even doing talking about nebula and stuff?
No, shameless self-plug. I think he needs to watch my parody for Gravity.
Not a
I
plug.
did a song on it.
Plugs are always welcome. You got to be specific though, so people know where to find it.
My channel, look for the video called Gravity, parody of the Bee Gees' Tragedy.
There you go. Everybody go watch that. Not right now.
After this.
Not right now. Just
Gravity.
Watch your watching now drop down to level 4.
Alrighty.
But again, they're never trying to disprove their model. They're always looking for data to support their model and ignoring data that disagrees with their model. So
What
there is
data?
a bias in place, and I think that really...
Oh, somebody call drink.
Kind of sounds like what flat earthers are doing, doesn't it?
It does.
Like I said before, the dude could not explain how earthquakes work on the flat earth model. He just ignored it as if earthquakes don't exist.
Well, whatever doesn't fit with what you're saying, it's safest to ignore, I guess. I'm guessing.
Comment from the chat.
In California, though, so he's on earthquake central, dude.
Okay. What do we got from the chat?
Judith Tippett just said, "Stupid physicists with their physicality or physics." God, how do I say that?
Physicistical nonsense.
There you go. Thank you.
Physicistical. I saw that one too. I was cracking up.
Very good indeed.
Physicistical. I love it.
This is
nonsensing.
Science-orific.
We're all just set for the SATs. All right.
Scientastic.
It needs to be addressed with science because science is supposed to be unbiased. Now, gravity allegedly relies on two very, very massive bodies warping space and time in order...
He just said that science is supposed to be unbiased. Provide us something that can't be debunked, and we'll look into it very, very carefully.
Indeed.
If it can be debunked, we don't need to look at it. Because it's been debunked.
Indeed.
To create a gravitic relationship through the vast vacuum betwixt the objects.
Yeah, and what's this? Why does it have to be two massive objects? Small objects are affected to the same extent that larger objects are, just to a different degree.
He's still denying the fact that all matter has a gravitational field. It's just usually pretty small for smaller objects. It's not a mutual thing between two objects. Whatever has a stronger gravitational pull will have more influence over the smaller object. He's not understanding or refusing to grasp that, or he's just intentionally being deceitful about it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying, but I don't know that he's intentionally being deceitful. I think he really just does not know.
I'm sorry, but if he's going to say he's quoting somebody and then ends the quote while adding to the quote to make it fit his narrative, then yes, he's being intentionally dishonest.
All right, maybe so. Maybe I'm being too generous, which in itself is unusual.
Such a gravitational relationship can only be created by highly dense and massive bodies according to the globe theory, and simply cannot exist between one massive body and a distant gas in the vacuum of space.
Why?
theories for
Because it doesn't
meteoroids
fit
in the
his
flat
narrative.
Earth.
Oop, didn't hear that. What'd you say?
I said because it doesn't fit his narrative.
Okay, got it.
Finally, we're getting to the awesome meteor.
Oh,
Gotta
okay.
hear what he says about this.
This should be interesting. Things that go through the atmosphere.
Model. A little bit more interesting, I think. So, okay, with all that being said, whether you believe in all the steaming pile of garbage that is purported by Team Science or not, you really must admit that the theories they've concocted to explain the creation of stars and planets is pretty wild indeed, and will never be verified in a million years. Now, I don't want to behave anything like a liaretical physicist, so I will only offer theories presented as hypothetical. And I
Stop it with the
want to punch this dude, man.
Me too.
Is somebody right?
I want to just catch him one day. Like, hey, I'm just one guy. Boom! Just punch him.
Dev,
is he plugging like
Now,
a dictionary?
I do have to say that with all his little lie things added to every word, I am going to call poisoning the well fallacies on all of them.
Okay, but
Oh yeah, that too. Right.
but I would do it cumulatively. Otherwise, there will be, I suspect, alcohol poisoning. That could be dangerous.
I'm going to call a drink on all past, current, and all future lie added to word references.
Okay.
Here, here.
Hear ye, hear ye.
Refuse to force all future generations of toddlers to consider them as laws or settled science. That's honestly the stance Newton had when he was commissioned to pen the
There's no
Principia.
such thing as settled science.
No,
we can always thing changed at any time as new evidence comes forward. Science is never settled.
Indeed, continuous improvement.
Which again he stated that it was hypothetical and probably wasn't true. I will go ahead and say that for my theory here, but what I won't do is I won't forge pictures. I'm not going to steal 20 billion.
Another one.
Okay.
He just claimed that his thing was hypothetical, and then he turned around and said it's his theory. He doesn't understand definitions. His first use is correct. His second use is not. Self-contradiction.
Oh!
$1 billion a year from the U.S. taxpayers to do so. I won't even steal a single taxpayer dollar. In fact, I don't want any of everyone's money to trick everyone, see? So, since I don't want this video to run too long, I'll just describe one single theory as to what causes meteors in the flat Earth reality. Since we know the Earth isn't a spinning sphere, and the heliocentric model governed by gravity and chaos is physically impossible, even when really humoring the model for argument's sake. Now, I will quickly mention that it would be great if more of the globe heads out there would do the same.
As much as I want him to comment on this awesome meteorite, he does not entertain the globe model. They simply do not. They omit everything from the model, and they're not entertaining the model when they're trying to explain this stuff. They just go bullshit, and then it's over with. He's lying right there. They never do that.
That is true. That is true. And while we're not on the subject, I wonder how this fits into the whole buoyancy and density. There's no gravity. There's just buoyancy and density. I'm sure the meteorite is falling down because it's more dense in the air. Well, okay, how did it get up there then?
There you go.
Okay. Moving on.
He was also lying when he said he wanted to keep it brief.
Yeah. How far into the video are we?
We're at 1919 out of 2407, so we're not doing bad. We're not doing bad. This should, if there's not too much more stupid, we should be able to wrap up the usual time, and everybody can go, apply ice packs to the damaged facial areas.
Thing, which is really the fundamental purpose of the scientific method in the first place, that is to test hypotheses to see how well they match observation and reality.
Yeah, all right, tell us about meteors.
Now, condensation and precipitation of gases high above the physical plane may be an answer for this in reality. Now, if we assume the lightest gases, such as hydrogen or helium, are forced above the higher density gases in the troposphere plane, And what becomes of these gases? Again, hydrogen or helium.
Drop us plane.
They are not sucked out of the system into the vacuum of space, as you'd expect, even according to the globe Earth model. Now, Alliance claims that single molecules of hydrogen or helium reach escape velocities and are jettisoned off into space, but it takes billions of years for them to do so, so we pretty much are stuck with the atmosphere we've got somehow, even though the upper portions of the atmosphere allegedly exist adjacent to the vacuum of space, which is impossible. So, my point is...
Oh, okay, impossible. Drink for obvious reasons. Something can't be impossible if it is.
Like water vapors evaporate and condense into clouds and then precipitate as rain or hail, then why would it be so far-fetched to assume that helium or hydrogen can do something similar? This might sound really far-fetched at first, but they really quite slim, and really so is the physical evidence for them, especially when you compare the face of the Earth to the face of the Moon, which, according to the heliocentric model, is really quite riddled with pockmarks from inbound space rubble and meteoroids. But when you look at incidents in recent history, for example the Tunguska event, you'll find about 800 square miles of leveled trees caused by a so-called asteroid that hit the area in remote Siberia in 1908. It took scientists like 20 years...
Oh, sorry. Okay.
The Tuskegee event, it didn't impact, it exploded in the atmosphere.
True.
So there will be no crater.
Is he actually getting to his point on what these so-called meteorites are then?
There's not
much.
He's claiming at this point that they are condensed hydrogen and helium just re-entering the atmosphere because of density, the lightest elements that we have coming down because they're less dense than the atmosphere.
Even though the one in Russia, sorry?
I said, by what mechanism would have them coagulate into a mass that would come in and release that much energy? Oh my god.
Yeah. Even the one in Russia, they managed to actually fish up what was left of it.
And he's okay with hydrogen clumping into a ball for no reason, but he seemed to object to star formation, where there is a whole heap of gravity. Oh, wait. Okay, that's his problem. Got it. Gravity doesn't exist. I'm sorry. Alrighty.
Years to reach the epicenter of the impact, and some scientism nutjob claiming to be an expert in asteroids and meteors allegedly found traces of, guess what? Asteroid meteors in the area. The problem is, whenever large objects fall from the sky like this, there's rarely a trace of the so-called rocky meteor, let alone a massive alien chunk of stone in the spot where you'd expect to find it. Now, this leads me to believe that the meteor showers, or even large meteors that pass through the atmosphere at high velocities, could be frozen gases as opposed to rocky asteroids from 90 million miles away.
Drink.
Okay.
Our meteor showers would not be predictable if that was the case.
Yep.
We have annual meteor showers that are predicted.
Yeah, even to when they'll be more intense and less intense.
Yes.
Depending on where you are on the globosphere.
Globosphere.
Now, I could be wrong about this, but that's
what
we
call
it.
No, there is no could.
Maybe we should clarify that. You're wrong about this.
Physics, because we're allowed to sort of play with theories. We can come up with theories that are not testable, and then force them on all future generations of toddlers to conform to our...
Okay, again, he's talking about theories as if, in the colloquial sense, like, I've got a theory as to where I left my car keys.
And also that nobody will ever test them, ever.
In which case it falls under the definition of hypothesis.
I mean, did this guy actually like science in school? Did he hate his teacher or something? 'Cause he seems to have some sort of thing against it.
I think he's got a small penis.
I guess that explains why I didn't like that picture. That picture before.
Yeah, it would explain a lot. It would explain a lot. I mean, yeah.
I bet that picture made him buy a Corvette.
Our belief system. But honestly, I think this makes a lot more sense than high-density asteroids traveling
What?
some 90 million miles to reach Earth, crashing through our sky only to evaporate in the air prior to impact.
Right.
Well, the atmosphere explains
They
that.
explode.
All and all of that makes less sense than hydrogen balls falling from the sky.
Which never happens anywhere by natural causes at any time.
I'm not sure.
Ever observed anywhere.
I just can't get over the fact that he's saying density and buoyancy only work when it's convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a shocker, I guess, huh?
Sort of like perspective.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever seen a solid rock evaporate after flying through a gas at high speeds? It makes perfect sense, right?
That event you're showing right there shows them explode. Hence the shockwave that they all experienced.
Like 2.5 minutes later, because that shit exploded 40 miles up.
I mean, you can pretty much tell from that video how fast that bloody thing is going.
It was going extremely fast. Have you guys seen all the videos on that particular video? I watched a bunch of them. I wasn't aware of it. I kept myself in the dark a little bit from the internet and shit a couple of years back, and then I popped on and saw this thing, and I never even knew it went down when it went down, and I was just blown away by it. It's fucking phenomenal.
Indeed, and with all this flat Earth nonsense going on, how do you feel now about popping back on the internet? Kind of questioning that decision, are you?
You know that to be a fact.
Gary Smythe just won the comment of the night. He and his parents ventured into a dark alley when he was a child, and Stephen Hawking killed his parents. He swore them to be batshit man.
Okay, 100 net points awarded. All right. Oh! There's not much. We got like 2 minutes left. How much stupid could he pack into 2 minutes? Maybe he'll just start whining about YouTube again.
No, this is the more guy. Also, he'll pack in like more crazy crap in the last minute and a half than he had in the entire video.
All right. Well, let's
pile on the shit.
Okay, so if we assume the flat Earth reality, this actually makes a lot of sense that they evaporate in midair. If we're dealing with condensed frozen hydrogen or helium. And I believe this really seems like a natural order to things, especially when we understand, condensation and precipitation of water vapors. And at least for me, it meets the Occam's razor test. It's simple, makes sense. So it's a simple answer that.
Excuse the fuck out of me.
Does he not know how condensation works? You actually need air pressure to go below the freezing point, or to go below the vapor point.
Which, for all the kids out there, requires gravity.
In other words, it would be easier to condense hydrogen or helium, if that was possible, at room temperature, closer to the ground, where there's more pressure. You go too far up, there's not enough pressure. This is why clouds don't form above a certain level. It's pretty simple. It's not going to condense in a vacuum.
He also doesn't seem too clear on Occam's razor. I don't know if you noticed that. It is not. I've heard a lot of people say it that way. That it's the simplest explanation. Must be that's not it.
When you have two competing hypotheses, whichever one has the least amount of assumptions is most likely to be correct. These are not competing hypotheses.
Not hardly.
Very good point.
It jives with observation and known physical laws. It's perfect. So since we know that gases like hydrogen and helium indeed rise well above the warm troposphere, with temperatures becoming colder as the ambient atmosphere becomes less and less dense, I realize this theory is...
Oh, was there a comment on that? I'm sorry, I thought I heard a comment on that.
Really only 4 people who have come to terms with the fact that the Earth is a stationary plane.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you're a globe head
Hold
trying
on.
to insult me...
There we go. Go ahead.
Okay. All flat earthers sit there and talk about how satellites can't go into space because of the thermosphere. So, and they always complain about there's 3,000 degree temperatures. Now he's saying when it's convenient for him that it gets colder and colder. He can't have it both ways.
But they often do. You're saying they can't now? We might want to publicize that.
Oh, and how often they say that we can't, the gravity can't pick and choose either.
Yeah.
Butterflies in oceans and all that malarkey.
All right, we're 1 minute mark. Here we go, guys.
Because you think it's stupid, I don't care. Next, we'll talk about comets. I recently did a pretty long documentary, section 1, about Halley's Comet that I can almost guarantee you haven't watched, as I released it over a month ago.
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
I haven't. So he's actually been right about something so far.
Wait a minute, we're calling a drink moment because he was right about something?
Well, yeah, celebratory.
Oh, all right. Agreed. I shall raise the mug.
And not even half of my subscriber base count has so much as clicked on the video. Either that, or maybe YouTube deleted about 11,000 view counts from that one video alone. Who knows? It's just a theory. Anyways, during that video, again, this would be the one I did about Halley's Comet about a month ago.
Uh-oh.
Where the hell's the rest of your... That's not here. That's the end of his video. Where the hell's the end of his video?
Even he knew he had too much bullshit in it.
My God.
So what the hell happened? He just got it. All right, I don't know.
I think he ran out of bullshit to say, so he just stopped recording.
Obviously, YouTube cut him off, you guys.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Apparently.
Oh, it's because he started talking about how YouTube deleted 11,000 views, so they shut his video off right there, I guess. Conspiracy.
So they are part of the big the grand conspiracy now. The folks that have been making it easy for these folks to spread their foolishness across the internet suddenly decided to join the Illuminati. Is that what he said? Is that what we're supposing?
Hey, come on!
Noodle.
The Chrome icon is a circle. What more do you need to see?
Well, it's actually much simpler than that. The top part of the U or the Y in the YouTube is an upside down triangle. So Illuminati confirmed.
Oh, I guess so. All right. Another conspiracy. Jesus, there's so many of them. It is getting frightening. All right. What do you do? Ooh, Jesus, look at the time. All right, you wanted to go into another Skiba one. What do you think about we save that one for the next one?
Yeah.
Just because there'll be... when we can allocate the appropriate amount of time to such a thing.
It's short and easy, but we'll save that for the opening next week.
All right. That sounds very good. Somebody remind me.
I'll do the Skiba chant.
Excellent. Please do so. I'll remember to cue that one up for the next movie night. And I'm going to forget as soon as we all say goodnight because, well, as you all recall, the Mug of Truth is really quite a large mug. So, anyway, all right. What should we? And anyone have anything they would like to cover? Any new developments in the fight against pseudoscience? Anything you'd like to bring up? And anyone that may have a YouTube channel, I expect some plug-in to go on. So I'll open it up. Off you go.
I like turtles.
I got a YouTube channel, but I haven't made videos for a while since my computer's kind of toast.
Oh my. Okay.
I was doing a little bit of research. I found a guy, a scientist. He gave a couple of experiments that could be done. I don't know. It is actually rather difficult for somebody to try to think of an experiment to do by oneself without requiring satellites, not traveling 1,000 miles. Or, it's rather difficult to do to actually prove the Earth is a sphere. But he said something about the moon and how you could measure the light coming from it. I think in the spectroscopy or something like that. That you can actually prove it to yourself that it is a reflection from the sun and not creating its own light, which would thereby debunk the flat Earth. Of course, he gave no details on it. Any good scientist.
I would be interested in said details should they ever arise.
Right. Maybe I'll look a little deeper into that site that I found. And I also talked to a guy today, and it was someone I hadn't seen for a while, and I was like, I'm kind of ashamed to admit it, but I'm a flat Earth detractor. And get the common giggles that you'll get. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm telling him all this stuff about it. And he actually is in a job. He's an engineer, and he's like, oh well, shit, that's all, my whole job is about that. His company works for, it's called AgTech, and he showed me this little app on his phone that he's got, and it's not something that everybody can get, but him being a part of the company, it showed they were doing some grading of some land, and he showed me the time lapse of all the land movers and stuff, and he just rewound it and played, and that's all happening from GPS. Like, he said if you have this app, you can go in real time and see what those land movers are doing, at this very moment. And he had the whole thing; it's all recorded and stuff like that, and you could see the elevation levels were all raised in red and lowered in blue and stuff like that. And you can see how is any of that going to happen without GPS satellites? And he said that they use all the time. They have to take into account measurements for curvature. I mean, these flat earthers always say, "Show me the curvature. Show me the curvature." They never take it into account for bridges and shit like that. Well, yes, they do. These flat earthers never talk to anybody who builds bridges. They never talk to anybody who builds highways. They don't build more than a mile stretch at a time of highway without resetting their little point of origin for when they're going to do their surveying and stuff. Why? Because it's fucking curved and the shit doesn't work. It doesn't work. They measure it. They assume flat right in their each little stretch. But if they assume that over 50 miles of highway, they're going to be fucking off. It's a fact. It's just a fact.
Indeed.
And you go talk to anybody who does this stuff, which flat earthers will never do. It's just a damn fact,
Yes, and I do enjoy the people they bring up as authorities. It's either a mythical figure that's never named and just referred to as an engineer, or someone who is not qualified to talk about the subject at hand. Because what they do on a regular basis, they're perfectly qualified to do.
Sorry.
Anyway.
So since the last time I was here, Ken Ham started a news show. I don't know if anyone has caught that yet.
Oh no! Oh no! What's he up to?
So twice a week on Mondays and Thursdays, he has a half-hour news show live from the Creation Museum, where they read various bits of news from science or from politics or whatever, and they read the story and then they all roll their eyes about how terrible it is and how and then they move on. And so I may be expanding my channel beyond Eric Coben because this Ken Ham stuff every twice a week is too juicy.
Oh, I gotta jump on that as well. That's
So check that out. It's on the Answers in Genesis channel, not his Ken Ham channel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am there.
He's had like 6 shows so far, something like that.
How could I be unaware of this? I've been well, anyway.
You must not be his Facebook friend like I am.
Oh, damn it. There you go. You're right. I am not. I shall have to look into that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Sure.
Hey, why has there been no plugging of your channel? Do some plugging.
Oh, Paulogia, Paul, Paulogia, and where I am taking on Eric Hoven generally, but I may expand to Ken Ham. So, new video coming on Monday on Y chromosomal Adam.
Badass.
There we go.
Yeah.
Everybody go see Paul's channel, or we'll all be mad at you. and while we're on the topic, Tau Ceti Alpha has a kick-ass channel, which
hell yeah,
absolutely. I watched one of his recent videos. My face still hurts, even with the oven mitt. Just go see that. Trust me on this one. Alrighty. Okay. What else? Anybody else got anything else?
Dev, we going V-tard smashing tomorrow night?
I'm in.
Is
Tight. All right, I'll hit you up.
is that like the recent trend of Nazi punching?
Sure.
Yeah, and all that old stuff's passe. Now we're beating up V-tards.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Well, on that note, as we are, we're just about approaching the 2:00 mark. That's our usual kill it time. Thanks everybody for participating as usual. Everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us. And I guess it is time to bring on the pug yet again.
Oh, the sick ass tunes, bro.
Night all. Come on, y'all know the words.